Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I have a question, and it is, can I reasonably consider home ownership in my future at my salary point? It is, I make about $42,000 a year before taxes. I work full-time in ministry. I love what I do, and it's just, my question is, can I retire well someday and have home ownership as part of my future?
How old are you?
35.
Okay. All right, cool.
I think that it's possible. I think that right now you make $42,000, but I can't imagine that your salary will never go up. So I think that there's an opportunity there, but it is going to depend on the decisions you make today. So my first question would be, do you have debt? Tell me a little bit more about your snapshot here.
Okay, so I do have a little bit of debt. I have about $7,000. I'm working on paying it off. According to my figures, I'll probably be debt-free by June or July.
Okay.
I've paid off about $12,000 to date so far this year.
Good for you.
Very good. Okay, and so after that, you're just walking the baby steps through, which anybody can do. The speed in which this happens is going to be directly reflected by your salary. So I'm not going to say that it doesn't matter, and there's something to that. And then the other part of this is, okay, are we choosing an affordable place to live? You're in Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, what's it cost for you to buy something are you single?
I am single, yes. And I don't live quite in Cleveland. I live in a small town. I've seen quite a few houses recently for between $80,000 and $120,000.
Okay.
It would be kind of what I was looking at.
It's very doable on your income.
Yeah. And what I would do is we've got a really great home mortgage calculator. It's like, how much home can I afford? And so if I were in your shoes, I'd be trying to put real numbers to these question marks. And I'd say, okay, first things first, how long is it going to take me to pay off this $7,000? Then how long is it going to take me to save 3 to 6 months of expenses? Then, and a lot of those equations, if I were you, Rachel, I would reverse engineer them and say, okay, for 3 to 6 months of expenses, let's say I need $10,000. If I do the math on what I'm making now, it's going to take me X amount of time. And then you get to decide, is that time frame okay with me? Because if it's not okay with me, what do I need to do to make that go faster? And even though you're in ministry, I got to believe that you've got time on your hands to add to your income by doing a side hustle, right?
I do have a second job. I work about 12 to 14 hours a week in a second job.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Hey, what is your ministry? What do you do?
I work in a children's ministry. We are basically a discipleship program for kids.
Good. Very good. That's about as worthy a thing as I can think a human can do. Way to go. Proud of you.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. The probability that 15 years from today, you're 50 years old, and you're doing this exact same thing, making this exact same income, is 0. Mm-hmm. There's no chance.
Sure.
Okay? You will either be making some more. You might still be there doing this, but you'll be making some more. But even the probability of that, just saying, okay, I'm going to be making $52,000 15 years from now doing the exact same thing, and I'm a 50-year-old single lady doing children's ministry at that point, that's fairly low. I mean, you're pretty much Mother Teresa if you're doing that. Okay? You just got the one thing and you stuck with it all the way through, right? And that's not a bad thing. Mother Teresa's obviously had a good gig, right? Mm-hmm. So, that's fine if you go that direction. But it's just not the normal path for a typical person in America. And so what oftentimes happens is that you find other ways to serve children, and you scale it, and your income goes up, and your expertise and your experience becomes more valuable in the marketplace. It might involve a move. It might involve some kind of life change in your situation. I don't know. But typically what happens is that people progress through their life, right? And so that includes their income, and sometimes it means some stair-stepping on their careers and those types of things. So I think that's really your future. I just don't know how to describe it exactly, but I think we can all agree the probability of you being 50 and making exactly the same money, doing exactly the same thing is very low.
Sure.
So,
and even if I do, there's a slight increase every year. I do know that much.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even that's a slight increase. It's not 42. So the average household income is $78,000 in America. That's household, and that includes a whole lot of dinks. Double income, no kids. Okay? So that's calculated into that. So your income is slightly below the average today. And that's not a sin. There's nothing wrong with that. And that doesn't mean you can't do the stuff we just talked about. But you just kind of keep that. That's my deal. Mm-hmm. And then you're in ministry, and the stuff that we teach is biblical principles of finance, which is stay out of debt, save money, live on a written plan. Those are all from the Bible. Live on less than you make. Those are all from the Bible. And if you do that and start investing a portion of your income into a good Roth IRA, you could have a serious amount of money at retirement and not have a substantial change in income.
That's right.
If you stayed this track exact.
Yeah, you're just committing to a more modest lifestyle at the end of the day. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's your value that you get to choose.
Yeah, don't call me. You can't call me and say I was forced to buy a new car.
Right.
You can't call me and say I was so tired and fatigued from ministry that I took a year off and went to Europe. You can't call me and do that. That's not no. You don't have these options. You don't have the money to do that. So you're in a steady thing, and you're going to be a steady person that, but I like your $80,000, $100,000 house idea. It fits the numbers you're giving me. You're not being a princess in this, a negative princess in this discussion. So I don't hear that coming from you, but you don't have those options.
Yeah, you're driving a used Camry for the foreseeable future.
Exactly. And that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I think that those are the choices that we make when we decide, where our passions are going to take us in life career-wise. So
godliness with contentment is great gain. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.